Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday, July the 25th, race number 9 at Saratoga. It's the Grade 2 Honorable Miss Handicap. And you can bet it with your very own DRFBets account, $150 in sign-up bonus money waiting for you at drf.com/bet. Let's take a look at the field for the Honorable Miss. Fillies and mares going 6 furlongs for $200,000. You can access free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take this field in post-position order. Matt, there is a lot of rain in the forecast for Saratoga on Wednesday, and boy, Vertical Oak has got to be licking her chops, because we've said it several times on these Race of the Day stakes previews. You have it. Boy, she's a great wet track horse.
It's really startling to see how much better she is on a wet track. And she's a competent filly on a fast main strip, but holy smokes, you put a little bit of moisture in there and she really turns into a different animal. I mean, you just have to go and look at her form here in 2018 to take a look at that. I'm going to give her that first start back in the carousel, considering we hadn't seen her since October. She shows up in the race at Pimlico. I know it's only by a length and a half, but I thought she was 100 the best in there. And then she showed up in that Roxalana as a 9-5 favorite on a fast track, and she kind of bombed. You're going to probably get the wet track in here, and I think that's all the difference.
Her breakthrough performance came in the Prioress last summer at Saratoga over a sloppy track where she destroyed that field to the tune of a career-best 99 Beyer speed figure. Now, she does have speed. She got cooked a little bit in that last race at Churchill Downs. Does it bother you that she draws inside with some speeds directly outside? Because the last time she drew the rail was that Jersey Girl Stakes, and she just threw a fit in the gate.
Yeah, not so much that. I think the bigger concern would be how much pressure is she going to take early on, because drawn just to the outside is Shalone. And again, Shalone's best game is being forwardly placed as well. I think you brought up a good point before we came on. I think naturally Vertical Oak is just faster. But at the same time, if Shalone is going to be intent on trying to push things with Paco aboard, then all of a sudden that would be the thing that would concern me. Drawing down on the inside, I kind of like it. Ricardo Santana, you got one way to go, and that's sender.
Let's see what Timeform US has to say about the pace situation. They have Vertical Oak close up. They expect a fast pace, as you see with that red bar, and they have Shalone slightly ahead of Vertical Oak. I agree with you, however. If Vertical Oak breaks, I think she takes the lead, and Shalone picks up a stalking spot, as she did last time out against much weaker competition at Monmouth. She sat second off a hopeless long shot, took over on the turn, and then won very impressively. Paco really never asked her for any run, and this filly earned almost a career best 91 Beyer. 6 furlongs is her game. I don't think she wants to go a step past 6. She's done okay on wet tracks in the past. I've always had a thing for her, but I think this is kind of her level. And I think actually this might be the ceiling.
Yeah, I guess that's the tough thing for me with Shalone. I mean, you just have to go 4 starts into her career, and that was the fastest she's ever run, a 93. And for the majority of her career, she's been in the high 80, low 90 range. I think you're going to get something pretty darn close to that. The problem is I'm not convinced that that's going to be fast enough to win in a spot like this. You brought up that Regret Stakes down at Monmouth. The runner-up, Jessica Krupnik, came back and won next out with an 86. So at least the form of that race is holding up. But really, to me, this race boils down to what is Paco going to do? Is he going to be content letting Vertical Oak go, saying, I can take this thing whenever I want? Or is he going to be forwardly placed and be aggressive with her? Because if he's aggressive, it's kind of a darned if you do, darned if you don't. Vertical Oak is dangerous if you let her go, but if you get into a duel, you could cook your own goose.
A duel could really work well for the 3, Kirby's Penny. What a revelation this mare has turned out to be. Claim for 20, claim for 40. She's now 6 for 8 on the dirt. She's a graded stakes winner, and she set that stalking trip off a duel last time out to win the Grade 3 vagrancy over Good Going, so we know she handles a wet track. She beat Shalone that day at the 6.5 furlongs. Another good thing to like about her, she has done very well at Saratoga in the past.
Yeah, you kind of have a perfect storm right here, and I have a feeling, I don't know why, but I think she's going to get a little bit disrespected and overlooked at the windows. I think you're going to have other big names in here that'll take more attention. This filly has the highest, the mare anyway, she has the highest last out Beyer in the field with the 92. She defeated Shalone on the square most recently, and I know the pace worked against Shalone, but she's handled a wet track. You brought it up. She's 2 for 2 at Saratoga. There's really not a heck of a lot to knock about her. And look, maybe there's a scenario where she goes off in that 4-1 range.
The number 4, 13 Songs, is slow on the Beyers. Her best came last time out. It was only a 78 at Ellis Park. I think the plan for Luis Saez here is just to drop back to the tail end of the field, hope for a very fast pace, and maybe try to get that valuable graded stakes placing. A win seems just out of reach.
I would say a win seems very unlikely, but I agree with you. It seems like from from a plan standpoint, if I were the owners, the goal here would be let's just hit the board, and I think that's exactly what they're going to try to do.
There are some angles here for the number 5, Fabian, going out for Bob Baffert and Javier Castellano, 7-2 on the morning line. We're going turf to dirt here. She's cutting back in distance, and the last time she raced on dirt was in the Grade 2 Ruffian, where she found a mile to be just a little bit too far. I thought the inside was not great at Belmont on May the 6th, and Fabian was down on the rail throughout. There are some excuses. I've never been sure what kind of horse Fabian is. Is she a 6 furlong horse? Is she a mile and a 16th horse? I guess we'll find out because she has a really nice outside draw and can stalk.
I think she's a little bit more of a tweener. I think she might be that 7/8 type, which unfortunately for her, she's going to be a little bit outrun in a spot like this. But at the same time, you brought it up. She's going to be breaking from post 5. I think she takes up a nice stalking gear. The question is, can she handle an off track? She's never done that before. And also, what are we going to get with her off this little bit of a layoff? She's fired fresh in the past, so I don't know that that's too much of a concern. But look, until they show up and they run on it, you never know.
The horse to beat, though, is the number 6, Finley's Lucky Charm, 8-5 on the morning line, a winner in 10 of 16 lifetime races, and she got beat a neck in this race last year as the favorite. Big buyer 2 starts back in the Madison, a 95. I think 7 furlongs is a little far for her. I like her a lot better at the 6, so she showed a lot of gameness and determination to win the Madison. And last time out in the Humana Distaff going 7, she just caught a good field. Ivy Bell came back to finish second in the Phipps behind Abel Tasman with an 88 buyer. Lewis Bay came back to win the Better Roses with a 98 buyer. And plus, Finley's Lucky Charm is versatile. She can stalk, she can go, she has a great outside post. Lots of things to like except the price.
Yeah, 8-5 is certainly no great shakes, and maybe I'm in the minority here, and maybe I'll look foolish after this race is run. I'm in the camp of saying that I don't think she's as good as she was last year as a 4-year-old. I think that she's come back. I understand that Mardi Gras was nothing more than a means to an end, and it was turf, but I didn't think she was great there. That Madison, I just don't like it at all. I understand you've had some successful horses come out of it and do some decent things, but I didn't love that race then. And the Humana Distaff, I understand that there have been some good efforts coming out of it. Lewis Bay winning races is a red flag to me because Lewis Bay doesn't like to win races. So the fact that she's sort of the one that we're hanging our hat on, I'm just not convinced that Finley's Lucky Charm is what she was last year as a 4-year-old when she won this race. Wouldn't surprise me at all if she ran well, but to me, this is an instance where she might be vulnerable at a short number.
A fair point to be sure when mentioning Lewis Bay. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 2 Honorable Miss Handicap. You like Vertical Oak, especially if it rains. She has done so well over a wet track in the past. If she runs her Prioress from last year, she's winning, and at 8-1 on the morning line, I don't think we get that if it rains. Everybody can see her wet track form. She's still a playable price with Finley's Lucky Charm in this race.
Yeah, I think if the rains show up like it sounds like they're going to, she's probably in that 4-1, 4.5-1 range. But I have to be honest, I think there's a real scenario where this race could end up being a bit of a merry-go-round where if Vertical Oak goes and Shalone is content sitting just off and Finley's Lucky Charm and Fabian take up right up in that next sort of group, I could see this thing just being a complete merry-go-round.
And that's the way it could certainly set up. If Vertical Oak goes, Shalone sits second. Shalone might not be able to reel in Vertical Oak, especially over a wet track. I'm hoping she does. She's my top pick in this race. I don't think she can run with Vertical Oak early, so I need Vertical Oak to either break slowly and then Paco takes the race to everybody else, or she sits off and Shalone finally becomes the filly that I've always hoped she'd be, a graded stakes caliber filly. She's fallen short every time she's tried graded company in the past. I'll take a chance, though, with Shalone. I like her stalk and pounce ability from just off the pace. 2, 3, 5, 6 for me. You're going with Vertical Oak. Shalone second?
Yes, 1, 2, 6, 5.
Should be a fun race. Wednesday's DRFBets race of the day, the Honorable Miss Handicap. Our coverage, of course, presented by DRFBets. Please sign up, grab the $150 in bonus cash. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Approximate post time for the Honorable Miss, 5:40 Eastern. Good luck.